I always thought betrayal would announce itself with shouts and slamming doors, maybe a thrown glass or two. But for me, it crept in quietly, like a thief in the night, until I was left staring at the cold, undeniable proof, my wife of 6 years, tangled in the arms of another man, in the bed we once shared. And the proof? It came from the eyes of a child's plush toy, sitting innocently on the shelf, recording every second of her deceit. That's when I knew I wouldn't just let her destroy me, I'd destroy her world instead. Marriage was supposed to be the endgame, the promise of forever. At least, that's what I believed when I said my vows to Claire. She was radiant that day, her golden hair catching the light as she promised to love me through better or worse. But 6 years in, worse was all we seemed to have. It started subtly. The way she avoided my gaze during dinner, her phone always buzzing with new notifications. She'd smile at her screen, her fingers flying over the keyboard, but when I asked who she was talking to, she'd shrug and say, "Just work stuff." There were late nights at the office that didn't make sense and excuses that didn't add up. I noticed her perfume lingering stronger when she came home, her laughter a little too forced when I joked about her secret life. "I'm not cheating, Jason," she said once, rolling her eyes. "You're being ridiculous." But the doubt festered. One evening, as I cleaned out the closet, I came across an old stuffed giraffe I'd bought her as a joke early in our relationship. I held it in my hands, smiling at the memory of her laughter. Then, an idea struck me, a desperate, insane idea. If she wasn't going to tell me the truth, I'd find it myself. I ordered a small, discreet camera online, one designed for home security. It arrived in a plain brown box a few days later, no questions asked. The installation was simple. I carefully hollowed out a small space in the plush giraffe's neck and inserted the camera, stitching it back up with care. "Back in action," I muttered, placing the toy on a high shelf in our bedroom. Claire didn't even notice. For weeks, the camera sat there, its unblinking eye capturing everything. At first, there was nothing unusual, just the mundane rhythm of our lives. But then, one Friday night, when I had a late shift at the hospital, I checked the feed. My heart stopped. Claire was not alone. A man, tall and broad-shouldered, entered our bedroom with her. They laughed softly, his hand brushing her cheek, her lips meeting his with an intimacy I hadn't felt in years. I couldn't breathe. The next morning, Claire acted as though nothing had happened. She kissed me on the cheek, asked about my shift, and told me she'd be meeting some old friends later that evening. Old friends. I swallowed, the bile rising in my throat. I spent the day in a haze, replaying the footage over and over. The betrayal wasn't just in the act itself, but in the ease with which she lied to my face. I couldn't confront her. Not yet. I needed more. I started collecting evidence, texts, receipts, recordings from the camera. Each piece of proof was another nail in the coffin of our marriage. But revenge isn't just about collecting weapons. It's about timing. Claire's birthday was coming up, and she wanted to host a party at our house, a small gathering of friends and family. I agreed, hiding my contempt behind a practiced smile. This would be the stage for her reckoning. I hired a tech-savvy friend to help me compile the footage into a short, damning video. It wasn't just clips of her and her lover, I included her lies, the way she laughed at me behind my back in text messages to him, and the night she claimed to be working late. When the day of the party arrived, I was ready. The house buzzed with energy that evening. Claire flitted between guests, her laughter filling the air as though she had no cares in the world. I played the doting husband, refilling drinks and making small talk. Inside, I was a storm, the weight of my plan heavy on my chest. Toward the end of the evening, when everyone was gathered in the living room, I stood up with a smile. "Thank you all for coming tonight," I began, my voice steady. "It means the world to Claire and me to have you here to celebrate her special day." Claire beamed at me from across the room, her glass of wine in hand. "I wanted to do something a little different this year," I continued. "Instead of the usual birthday toast, I've prepared a little video. A tribute to the woman I love." Claire's smile faltered slightly, but she didn't object as I grabbed the remote and turned on the TV. The room fell silent as the footage began to play. At first, it seemed innocent enough clips of our wedding, vacations, and happy moments. Then, the tone shifted. Claire's face paled as images of her and her lover filled the screen. Gasps echoed around the room as text messages flashed across the screen, each one more damning than the last. "Jason, stop this!" she cried, leaping to her feet. But I didn't stop. The final clip showed her in our bedroom with him, her laughter echoing in the background as she called me pathetic and too stupid to ever find out. When the video ended, the room was dead silent. Claire's family left without saying a word, their expressions a mix of shock and disgust. Our friends avoided her gaze, murmuring their excuses as they slipped out one by one. Claire turned to me, her face streaked with tears. "Why would you do this?" she whispered. I met her gaze, my voice cold. "Because you destroyed us, Claire. You didn't just cheat on me, you humiliated me. I gave you a chance to come clean, and you chose to lie." She collapsed onto the couch, sobbing uncontrollably. I didn't stay to watch her break down. I had already packed my bags, my car loaded with everything I needed to start over. It's been 6 months since that night. Claire tried reaching out, leaving voicemails and emails begging for forgiveness, but I never responded. I've moved to a new city, started a new job, and even adopted a dog, a golden retriever named Max. The pain of her betrayal still lingers, but it no longer defines me. Revenge didn't heal me, but it gave me closure. And sometimes, that's all you need to move forward. She thought she could betray me and walk away unscathed. But in the end, it wasn't just her lies that unraveled our marriage, it was the truth I uncovered, one secret at a time.